You know, Minnesota traditionally has the highest voter turnout, and I think that's why we're a state that works, and because people are really involved. And when voters turn out, that means those of us in public service are more responsive. And so it's really important that we continue that tradition in Minnesota, so get out and vote.
I love it. So I am here with Chris Holbrook, who's running for governor of Minnesota.
Yes, I am. For the Libertarian Party.
Thank you. I was going to have him say it. You don't know how many takes we just did for Chelsea to be able to get that out.
Get through this whole beer before she got it right.
This is the level.
Take it down a level.
So can you tell those such as myself what a libertarian is and what they're all about?
Well, I'm a libertarian. What libertarians are about are maximum freedoms with minimal government intrusions. So in a nutshell, we're socially liberal. If you're not hurting anybody, you should be left alone. Economically, we're conservative. We don't want the government taking your money from you. We want it shrunk down.
Well, a lot of times I get asked by students if a vote matters or one person can't make a difference, and obviously most elections don't come down to a single vote, but the Minnesota state elections recently come down to a couple hundred votes. So obviously, as we're looking at tight elections and that sort of thing, that every vote pretty much does matter. But really, for me, I look at it from a historical perspective because that's what I do. And I think about all the people who had been denied the right to vote throughout United States history. One of the things I do in my early U.S. history class is I have every student raise their hand. And I say, when I say something that applies to you, put your hand down. And I'll say, women, so half the class hand was go down. Any African Americans, any American Indians. And then I start getting into, are you under 21 years of age? Do you not own property? And so by the time I go through all of those things, virtually every student in the class has their hand down. And usually maybe there's one non-traditional student that has a house and their hand is up. And I say, well, in early America, you were the voter. In this entire class, this is the person who would have voted. And then I say, if this applies to you, raise your hand. You're an American citizen over the age of 18. And then almost all of the hands go up. Occasionally we have a few non-citizens or occasionally a few people that are under the age of 18, post-secondary students. But primarily, everybody raises their hand. I said, that's the difference. That is the development of American democracy. From all of your hands up now to virtually none of your hands up before. And so how did we get from one point to the other? We got there because of people who were willing to struggle for the right to vote. And you think of women who went to jail just for going down to a polling station. You think of African Americans in the South not a long time ago. In the last 50 years, the Freedom Summer was the summer of 1964. There were people murdered, whites and blacks, in the American South 50 years ago simply for trying to register to vote.
We are at a brewery right now where we're hanging, hence
an undisclosed location. They do not endorse or prohibit activities like this, but drink local beer. Support your
we're all about
brewery.
local.
Yes.
Duh, local experiment.
Yeah.
Local.
Do it.
Minnesota. And the reason why we're here is because one of the things that you are all about is making it where we can have liquor sales on Sunday.
Yes, my tagline is legalize and minimize. By legalize, I'm referring to alcohol take home on Sundays, liquor sales, marijuana sales, and fireworks sales. I don't believe there should be any laws prohibiting those voluntary transactions.
Absolutely, so you're trying to keep the freedoms.
keeping the freedoms.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, you should be left alone. If you're not hurting anybody, the government shouldn't have a law. It shouldn't come knock in your door, kick in your door, shoot your dogs, take you to jail. It shouldn't happen.
I don't know why I had to do this, like shooting the dogs, just, you know. So what inspired you to run for mayor of Rochester?
Well, my background and my approach and decision to run for public office was different than what I think it would be for a lot of people. I didn't have any political background. My passion for being involved in the community and deciding to run for public office really came out of my work in neighborhoods and doing community organizing work in Rochester's downtown neighborhoods, helping residents work through quality of life issues, helping residents do projects in their neighborhoods that involved working through local government processes, understanding what common people go through when they want to work with their local government to improve things in their own neighborhoods. And I really felt like in terms of timing, there's so many critical things going on in Rochester right now that are very exciting, but also important that the leadership is very engaged and paying a lot of attention to, because we have one opportunity to do it right, such as Destination Medical Center. And in my conversations with a lot of people in the community, there has been a lot of frustration, and for myself too, that people don't always feel like they've been asked or listened to, or that there's even a good vehicle for their participation in our local government.
And what I like about you, Chris, is that you are a working man. You're just like anybody else. You're not a politician per se.
Is that a question or a statement?
That's more of a statement. That's more of a statement. But I just wanted to get it out there so people would know. And one thing that I know that you want to do is kind of help with the arts and bringing movies back into Minnesota. You want to give us a little tidbit?
Like Chelsea said, I'm a normal guy. I'm not a career politician. I think that's the problem. We have too many career politicians. They set up a fund for bringing movie studios into Minnesota to film, which they used to do years ago when Arnie Carlson was governor. My friend has educated me a lot on this fund and how to attract such things. There are other states doing this right now very successfully. We're not. We have a wealth of talent in this state. As I told you earlier, I met my wife in an acting class. We love theater, music, arts. We need to put that to work.
I'm just 2 weeks off the campaign trail, really, and when you are campaigning, it is a different world. That's one thing that I've realized that was new for me, that I didn't understand about people that run for public office. We really are in a different world. It's very intense. Your perspective really does narrow because you're focusing so much on reaching voters. You're focusing so much on how to present yourself in a credible way. You're focusing so much on how to not say anything wrong.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's
a microscope.
It is, and it's a ton of pressure that I didn't realize I would be stepping into. You eventually kind of get used to it, and then you get into a groove, and for a while it just becomes who you are. And there were parts of it that I really enjoyed, but you pick up steam, you pick up momentum, and I don't know, for anybody that's really running a credible campaign, I don't see how you can think you're going to lose.
Absolutely.
You just are so immersed in it, and you see the energy that the campaign is picking up, and you get positive feedback and negative feedback from people, but your supporters start to really rally, especially towards the end, and there's so much energy and momentum, and it does not occur to you that you won't make it through, in this case, the primary. And so that's good. I mean, that's what gives you the energy every day to keep going. Yeah, otherwise, and you wouldn't do it, right? Either if you thought you were going to lose. No. But what it does do is that at the end you say, I didn't think about what would happen because I didn't think I was going to lose. And for our campaign, I believe that we rallied a group of people that normally haven't been interested in local politics. And those people are now saying, well, where do we go from here? I feel like my campaign was an amazing experience because I don't feel like it was just me.
What would you want people to know most about you running for governor if you had like your elevator speech, per se? Can I put you on the spot?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not that good. I'm not that smart. That's my elevator speech. Everyone else is smarter than the government. To be honest, there's nothing divine about a politician. They make you think that, but the power is in the people. People need to get back to realizing that. They need to be active, not let decisions be made for them. Be involved in making the decisions yourself.
Don't be stagnant. I mean, play a video game, but then when you're done, go and learn something. Figure out what it's all about.
Get off the couch, get involved, talk to someone, join a group, make a donation, go to a rally, whatever. Just get involved. Otherwise, you get railroaded.
Whether that's left, right, middle, upside down, sideways, we don't care.
Exactly. Your opinion's your opinion. No one should make it for you. Make your decisions for you. That's a huge belief of ours.
Absolutely.
Just, you're not throwing your opinion away by having an opinion that's different from what the establishment tells you. You're not throwing your vote away if you vote for a third party. Act on your conscience.
Instinct. Your gut.
In a democracy, the only way you can have a healthy democracy is through participation. So, and I always say, hey, you know what? If you don't know who to vote for, well, A, you should educate yourself on it. But if you don't, if everybody who stayed home voted for the third party candidate, that person would win the election. So, there's something to be said for that too. If you feel like the two major parties don't give you any real options, well, there are other options. And if everyone took that, you would also change the political structure. So that's to me the importance of it.
But in the same respect, it does cause you to sit back and say, what is going to be the best place for me now, and will it be public office? Mm-hmm. I don't have the answer for that yet, because a lot of people say, what are you going to run for next? And I think the bigger question that I'll be asking myself in the next few months is, will I run again, or will there be a place for me that's different but can still keep that energy going for people that are now thinking about local politics in a way that they didn't used to think about it.
And then we got our matches. These are my favorite. Live free, don't tread on anyone.